Don't you know I worry about you? her bungalow, she felt so young. The night she was much younger than the other. Feeling like a prisoner there in the light. She stood, she knew they couldn't miss her. And then they took her as her, walked over life like you wrote to me. 'Cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. She kept quiet, they kept beating her. They felt sad for her, but an order is an order. She was a prisoner there in the light. She stood, but she knew they couldn't break her. And by the shore, the bombs were falling with the snow. You wrote to me. 'Cause she wanted me. You wrote to me. 'Cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. Wanted me. You wrote to me. 'Cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. 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 This is Ellie.
Hey, Paladins fans, welcome back to the realm. My name is Rene. This is Hi-Rez Dry Bear, and we are here for a highly anticipated live Q&A. It's been an interesting week. We've had a lot of fun. A lot of feedback has been heard, and we want to address it. We want to give a forum to kind of respond. If you don't know, Rory Dry Bear, he actually gave a response to Reddit after some of the changes that people have been discussing around the Essence system, the legendary cards, and what has been updated in Season 1. So what we want to use here is this a way to get it out to more people, kind of go through what has been changed, what we've been adjusting, and kind of answer some questions from that point on.
Yeah, so it's been, it's been a very fun week, and we're actually pretty excited to be bringing Season 1 to you guys. One of the things that we really want to stress is that, we are here to kind of, listen to the feedback, kind of make adjustments, something that we're always known for. We're always there to kind of engage with the community, so this is kind of an example of that. So, and obviously, sometimes it takes us a little bit longer to come up with the best solution, right? Because we take the feedback in and we kind of figure out, okay, how long is this change going to take to get into the game, and how do we want to go about kind of serving those needs in the best way possible? So I think at the highest level, the gist of it is up there on forums and Reddit, a couple of places kind of talk about, but really just addresses a lot of the concerns that the community, have been kind of bringing up over the last few days.
And again, a lot of conversation around Essence, and a lot of conversation around kind of newer players as well. These have all been addressed in a way that I think we're feeling pretty confident about going forward, and really excited to see how you take it into account for your own experience as a player as well. So let's talk about it. Legendary cards. We start off the post with this. We've heard the feedback. 18,000, a number of people weren't really excited about. That's got a big adjustment now. That's to 12,000, a legendary card now.
Yes, we cut that down. I think one thing that's important to stress is it was definitely never the intention to create a grind that was impossible or kind of create an endless situation. We do still want to create a situation where players feel rewarded for their time spent. They have kind of a goal that they can set for themselves in the game and kind of work to unlock things that feel rewarding and kind of enhance that experience, and feel like, the time that they put in, they have a representation of that for what comes out. We also really wanted to make sure that the legendary card system came out into the game. We feel that it adds a lot of build diversity and a lot of customization options to the characters you love. I mean, already, taking one character and giving it more build paths means that you can play it in different ways, but then there's a lot of synergies that come about with the loadout cards. So overall, we're pretty happy with the way the gameplay is playing overall, but obviously the concern was more around how long does it take to get these unlocks, how do you go about getting them, and how does this affect different levels of play, from the person that just made a brand new account, 5 minutes ago, to the person that's been playing for a week or two, or the person that's playing for years. How does that play out? And so we kind of collected all the feedback you guys gave the last few days, and some of the discussions that were spurred, and we always want to thank you for kind of being passionate and supporting us through all this, and just really keeping the discussion going, right? Because that, we go in, we read all those, we think through it, we're like, okay, that's a lot of great points, and sometimes we're just like, you made some awesome points.
And, I think one of the things, speaking as someone who wasn't at Hi-Rez, I was on this side of the community for a long time, as a YouTuber, as somebody who just played Hi-Rez games. It's really eye-opening to see what goes beyond just what you can see and in the behind the scenes. Not only just what decisions are being made and how many things you have to consider, but how many people are working on certain things. What it takes to say, do this. That could mean 8 people who have fully slammed schedules, who can't stay late because they got to pick their kids up, at 7, right? It's a lot of things that really go forward, and even for Season 1, the amount of stuff that they got, the community, the team in Paladins that worked so hard to get all this even in the game at this point, it was phenomenal. People spent a lot of time, so these are some great changes, and again, it's great to see both sides of that and be aware of both sides of that as well. So
18,000 to 12,000, that's actually currently live in Paladins. If you're logging right now, we already made that update.
That's awesome.
So dropping that down, largely just to make sure that, one, those are a little bit more obtainable for everybody, so it feels like that kind of is within reach, and you kind of get those unlocks there. It obviously means that, the 36,000 essence that every new account starts with can now buy 3 legendaries that have 2, and kind of as that grind picks up for them outside of the Radiant chests, it kind of starts to become a little more plausible.
Yeah, and you get, I mean, that's 3 of your favorite champions, whoever you want to really main. And then, of course, if you have the Founders Pack, that's 4 additional ones now, I believe. Or actually more than that, maybe. Even more. That's more.
More than that.
My math is not sexy.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a thing. Math is a thing. I got to figure that out.
6 more.
6 more. Wow.
6 more.
So that's really 9 champions. So, I mean, if you're just starting the game and you've got the Founders Pack, you do the tutorial, you've got 1 for every champion. You've got 9 of your favorite ones to start as you continue to play. And I think as a new player, there's a lot of other things you're looking at, not just the legendaries. Getting used to the champions, how they feel, all that cool stuff. That's great. just one question off of that. Will we be refunded if we purchase legendaries at the 18,000 price point, since we're on that topic?
Yeah, so we're working on a lot of scripts right now. We actually have kind of a big operations team that's constantly working through, and actually, you know, we'll get to it in a moment, but we went through a long, lengthy process for a lot of people kind of working hard to kind of track down all the instances of people buying things on previous prices or getting duplicates that didn't have the value, tracking down those, and then actually rolling out a process of refunding you for those. So for the difference there, so anyone bought a legendary over the last day or so since Season 1 came out, you'll get the 6,000 essence difference. We're hoping to have that out later today, U.S. Eastern, so over the next 12 hours, we should hopefully have a refund out for that.
Awesome. So there is some adjustments here as well, and obviously as the legendary price, we'll be continuing to look at that, monitor that based on the feedback, based on the new player experience. So thank you guys for continuing the conversation, keeping us informed as to how you feel. We'll keep going about it. That's how the community grows and continues to get better. Duplicates and disenchanting. We'll be adjusting the amount of essence a common card gives. So you'll no longer basically be receiving 60 essence for a common card duplicate. That's bumped up to 250. That's quite a big bump.
It's a huge bump. It's actually it's a little strange because it's kind of like the rares, but we really wanted to make sure that the kind of the base amount that you're getting for the lowest rarity in a Radiant chest felt like it was kind of working its way towards that new 12,000 for the legendary, right? Because the disparity there was that obviously commons show up the most, so they should have the lowest value, but we want to make sure that that kind of feels good. So go from 60 to 250 means that since the majority of the default cards are common, you're more likely to get duplicates of those. This means that the new players that come in with the default cards get more essence quickly, and those duplicates are more valuable.
Again, better for the new player experience. That's just more enhancing of getting these legendaries into your pockets as soon as possible.
And one feature we're working on too that we're hoping to have out next patch is going to be the ability to disenchant a card you already own.
Oh, cool.
And so you can go to your card collection. So if a legendary drops for a character you don't play in a chest, you'll be like, I just want that to be essence, right? So be able to just go to your card collection, click on it, click disenchant, get that essence, which means that with the disenchant value going up and the cost coming down, as those chests come out, you can basically force anything to be a duplicate if you don't want it.
That's great. Okay, so that's a really good thing. If you're seeing those 60s, no longer, it'll be at least a 250, so that's pretty exciting, especially when you start opening those chests. Thumbs up to that one as well. And again, I think a lot of this conversation, and this opens up the door for a lot of ways you could take it, the new player progression. A lot of conversation, a lot of you watching are really thinking and concerned about how do we continue letting this game grow? How do we make it easy for new players who want to whether get in, check the game out because they have esports aspirations, or maybe just because they just want to play a new game and find that they still have a great ability to have fun, right? And do everything that everyone else can do. So a lot of this document, this kind of response was based on how do we make new players really get to that place faster, and so you came up with a couple of additions for it.
That's right. So one of the things we want to focus on is, again, make sure there's enough things outside of the Radiant chest, especially for new players to kind of get that progression going and moving right away so they can start kind of buying the things that they need and unlocking that gameplay. So we are going to be allowing players to get 1,000 essence in a future update. It's not live yet. We're working on that internally. Just want to kind of be open and transparent about that. But 1,000 essence for every achievement that you complete. So there's over 30 in the game right now, and then we'll continually add more and more over time. And then on top of that, so that's obviously it could be high 30s of thousands of essence right off the bat. And then when this comes out, whatever patch this goes in, we'll have a refund script again to go back and give everybody retroactively any achievement you've earned. You get 1,000 essence for each, but also be able to add in kind of some new player achievements that do two things. One, kind of teach the new players when they're coming in about the system, how to work with it, but also give them a good bump when they do that to be able to kind of catch up. So one of the things we're working on right now is the ability to kind of give a new achievement to the game where if you build your first loadout, so it kind of encourages you to build a custom loadout, that will grant you 12,000 essence as an achievement. And so you'll be able to kind of build your first loadout, get a legendary out of it, kind of keep that moving and helps you move along and make sure the new players get enough progress.
I actually really like that synergy. You told me about this idea earlier, and just the idea is like when I am a new player, when I get into the game and I start saying, okay, I played a lot of Victor, maybe trying some Shaolin, I've got his basic legendary, played him a little bit, now I get the feel of him, I want to try a new deck. When I first build that deck, that means now I can get a new legendary with that, with this update coming in the future. That'll mean that really I have access to the type of preferred playstyle that I want, the thing that I want to go to. I love that synergy as well, just because when you're doing the new deck, why not have a new legendary with it? That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of replayability. I'm all for that one. I'm really, really happy about it. Additionally, there's more stuff in here, man.
There's more.
There's more. Additionally, we will be increasing the first win of the day reward from 300 gold to 450.
Yep.
So it first got doubled from 150 to 300, and now it's 300 to 450.
Yes.
Wow. So ultimately, my maths, you could do my maths for me.
1750.
Yeah, 1750.
Yes.
That is solid stuff.
I think that's right. Is that right? That's not right.
No, it's not right.
That's not right at all.
We're bad at
1350.
math. Yeah.
1350.
We're bad at math. Both of us.
It's rough.
It's
so yeah, the big thing there is you know, when we first got the feedback from the PTS, right? A lot of the feedback was around time to progress, how you kind of get that gold or essence revenue, how to build up into. So one of the things that we did for the PTS going into live is we actually made it so we increased the quest to 1,000, we increased the first wins of the day to 300, we reduced the cost of Radiant Chests. And that actually effectively increased your essence gain by almost triple, right? So just overall, if you're doing your quest, if you're doing your first wins of the day, which you can do 3 times a day, and you're getting a cheaper cost of the Radiant Chest, overall that increases a lot of that engagement, and that impact is huge. And then we go from 300 to 450. That means that basically every day you're unlocking multiple Radiant Chests and then earning enough gold by doing that to unlock another Radiant Chest, right? So every single day you're getting more there. We realized that obviously it's a mixture of the revenue of gold and essence and the cost of things in essence. That's why we're kind of doing both. But it's really important to know that over the next week or two, you guys will start to realize how much those provide and what that benefit is to you as a player. And that is a factor that's compared along with the essence cost of things.
And again, the goal for this system is to create diversity. It's to create intricacy. It's to create replayability and give players, when they first come into the game, and players who have been in the game. I mean, for me, part of the benefit of the Essence system, and I think a lot of people, have spoken about this new player experience from maybe a hypothetical standpoint, but I think a lot of people really, when they've played it, have really enjoyed the variants that they've been able to go for. A lot of these new builds that have opened up as a result of this. So it's just getting people to that place as soon as possible. But I think overall, the system's been really, really fun.
The feedback for the patch has been, largely very positive on the back end, right? So a lot of great feedback for the new survival game mode, a lot of great feedback for the new Dreadhunter Drogo skin, and then when you actually get in and play the legendary system and how it works with the game and the customization ops that are there, most of that has been overwhelmingly positive. The patch has been kind of largely successful in that aspect. The only downside really was just the introduction of the grind and the change to progression and how those costs in there, and that's what we're addressing here today. But it's important to note that the other stuff that's in there now, Barrick finally coming back in, survival being available, it's all been playing very well, and the feedback outside of the progression has been very good.
Cream gravy.
Cream gravy.
Cream gravy.
Yep.
Oh, man, you got to get the TF2 Barrick skin. Is that still available? 5 wins on Steam? Oh, my God. You have to get that voice pack. It's maybe the best voice pack in the game.
It's pretty good. It should be an announcer pack.
It really should.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'll do that.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think Rain Day should have an announcer. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. No,
he's an announcer, right?
It's not that great.
No?
It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other thing is Mastery Rewards. Let's talk about this. Let's get into this. Basically, what was introduced in Season 1 was there was the ability for Champion Mastery to earn you additional chests. Those chests could be unlocked at levels. And no one remembered these levels because they were like, it was like 1, 7, 3, and 8? Like what? But it was really 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. So 5 total once you get to level 10. And you can get 4 right off the bat, basically 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are really easy to hit. And for each champion that you master and get to that level. So if you had all 22 champions mastered at that level, you're over 100 chests that are basically given to you. Now, you tweeted a number that sounded actually ridiculous. It was like 100 million?
100 million.
100 million chests needed to be given to people as a result of the masteries they've achieved.
And subsequently opened.
And opened as well. And that, I heard, caused a couple of things.
Yeah, so the amount of chests being opened per minute scaled up by almost over 100 times within the few minutes of the patch going live. And actually, it's something that it's regrettable. We really wish we kind of had that, but it really shocked us, right? Because again, we had to give out so many chests. There's a process there of just there's a system going in there and giving chests to accounts. There was 8, 9 million accounts that were affected by this, 100 million chests that were given out, and so it was kind of going through the process of doing that. But at the same time, those chests were being opened, and so the server was really just being
overloaded.
Chugging. It's being overloaded. Just chugging along and trying to get through all this. And so we kind of started our very awesome engineering team kind of figured out a way to start rolling this out over time. So we started doing them in waves to people, kind of select a block of accounts, give them the chest, let them open them, and kind of keep processing in that way. But realistically, we didn't want people to wait a long time for their chests.
Yes.
The Season 1 is out. The Legendaries are ready to go. And the fact that because there's so many chests being open, we had to actually put a limit on how fast you can open them. So you guys may have noticed that when you open a chest,
30 seconds.
It's about 30 seconds there. And depending on how many people open your chest and getting chests at one time, we had to slow that down.
Yeah.
That process, we didn't really want it to be that slow. And so we came up with a solution that gets everyone hopefully gets close to what they were, kind of in some cases a lot more than what they were, right? Being overly generous there. So we're basically going to be taking all the chests that have yet to roll out. We're going to be turning those into 2250 essence, which is more than you'd get from a chest.
That's a great chest.
Right?
Yeah, that's like a great
chest.
So
for most players in the game, that's going to be a lot more than they'll get from that. So it's kind of compensating for that fact. So you'll be getting 2250 for every chest you were owed and haven't received yet. On top of that, if you were boosted in the last few days at any point, we'll give you that fourth item as 750.
Ooh.
So you'll get 3,000 essence total for every chest if you were boosted during that time. And that we're still working on now, but hopefully, because it's not going to be giving out chests and chests aren't going to be opening, we hopefully will be able to have that out by the end of the day today, U.S. Eastern. So again, within the next 12 hours, be able to kind of push that. So for the weekend, you get another big boost of essence. You can spend that on legendaries that are now cheaper and kind of pull that together.
Yeah, that's a ton of essence. I mean, you're talking about 2,000 to 3,000 potentially per chest.
Yep.
If you have over 100 chests per, if you've gotten your masteries, it's
a lot of essence.
That's a lot of essence coming to you, and that's a lot of diversity. I think at that point you're at the place where it's like, if I don't have the legendaries that I really am interested in, then you're probably not interested in picking them right now, because there's a lot of options.
There's a couple I'm holding on. I'm kind of figuring out. It's like I got my Kinessa ones, I got my Tyrants, my Sky ones.
And one champion at a time. You can only play one champion at a time. I wish I could play all 5. I'd be the best. I'd be
multi-boxing.
Exactly.
Come with 5 computers. And
I
got this.
2 right here, and then 2 with my feet. Have you seen No Game No Life?
Yeah.
I'd be them, man.
The Masterer did the same thing. He was playing 4 games at once.
That's right.
The Poner couldn't keep up.
That's right. So that's I'm really excited about that change, and we're really interested to hear your feedback. It seems like it's been overwhelmingly positive. People are really liking the fact that they'll be able to really get those legendaries and the essence as well for them in another state. I think that now there's, covering, that's the gist. If you want to go over any other things kind of in terms of the conversation around the update that had happened, this is the great time. We have obviously some live questions we want to get to and make sure everyone is heard and who's asking the questions. Make sure you guys can continue and engage in this conversation. But are there any other kind of last points?
Yeah, so I think one thing to mention is obviously we're continuing to check up on the updates and the feedback from live, right? And across all the places that you guys have discussion boards, including the forums, Reddit, social media, all over the place, right? Even in game, and how you guys are playing and what matches you're choosing to select from. We are still actively looking through all that, and thus the change that we made from PTS to live, and also the change we're making today has all been in response to feedback you guys are giving. So please continue to give feedback. Give your thoughts, kind of keep the discussion going, and we'll always be here to listen and kind of keep updating and kind of make sure that we find the right balance. Because again, we don't want to have nothing to look forward to, right? So there's nothing in the game to kind of work for or kind of feel like you're accomplishing something. We also don't want it to feel like it's impossible, right? It's never the intention to feel like you can't get anything. We're not trying to lock you behind a paywall or anything like that. We just want to find the right balance, and we admit that we didn't find it right at first, and thanks to your feedback, we're able to kind of get closer to what that is, and as things kind of come along, kind of can continue that feedback. And then obviously with the legendaries themselves, we'll keep looking at the stats and the performance. We're really excited to see the tournaments this weekend to see how the pro players kind of pick up and use them, and then we'll follow up with a new kind of update for that and keep the balance rolling, because it'll take us a couple rounds, but we'll get there.
I mean, there's so many things that you've got 4 skills to balance. You've got all these potential loadouts, and you've got 3 legendaries per champion. It's expected, I think, at this point, that some are going to be a little stronger, some are going to be a little weaker, and that tuning is there. I always tell people when they talk about balance is never a singular like, you're never balanced. It's always a balancing act. Something is always a little bit here, and you're always moving that. When you walk a tightrope, you're never just still. You're always kind of shifting side to side slightly, and that's, of course, what I think we encourage to keep in mind as we move forward in this process with a lot of new changes, a lot of new things. And keep the conversation open, like you said, so important to make sure that takes place. So, starting off with some of the questions, we don't know who's saying them, and if we could maybe make sure to get the username with them Are any legendaries receiving adjustments in this hotfix that came up?
Not in this hotfix, no. So this one was more, again, trying to get the best changes out we can now, focusing on the progression, all that. For the next update, which actually we may have a little bit of a teaser at the end of the show to talk about there for the next update. But we are kind of looking at how to address those, and also I think we need a couple more days of people trying things out, giving feedback, and watching kind of either all levels of play, including ranked and also competitive and tournament level, to see how those play out, so we can make sure that we're making the right change going into the next patch.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that question seems to have been answered recently. We'll skip that a little bit. Legendaries unlocked in the shooting range. Is this something that you're thinking about? Absolutely not.
Would you like that?
I would really like that.
Would you guys like that?
I think I might have
Would
said
you guys
that
like to be able
times.
to go to the shooting range and then play any champion and play any legendary and mess around and test it out?
I mean, it would be even. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I have another request as well, and it's for the training range. I just happen to spend a lot of time in the training range because of my how to plays and all those other videos.
All the videos and all that.
I know,
yeah.
but yes, that would be really exciting. I think everyone's really happy about it.
It looks like there's a lot of yeses there. So,
I see one guy said no, so let's listen to. I think we should. Hold on. Let's do
it. All right, we'll do it. We'll see if we'll put it next patch. How about that? We'll make sure that I'll go back and tell the guys and gals to kind of see if they can work up their magic.
Sign here. Okay, next patch. Did you see the signature? It's a happy face. It's not really his.
That is mine. Oh. I'm always happy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can find one of our awesome programmers to kind of hook that up for you guys.
All right. That's awesome. I'm really excited about that one. Will Essence ever be used for other things in the future? Do you anticipate Essence only being for a crafting card system, or are there other possible implications?
Being that we are a game as a service,
yeah.
We're kind of a free-to-play game that kind of picks up on that. We're always kind of listening to feedback and adjusting based on how the community is feeling and how the game is playing and what's fun. Nothing's counted out.
Sure.
I would say right now we're not planning on anything. It is kind of the card currency that allows you to kind of build through that. The hope is that as we kind of release new champions and you find new champions you want to try out and play that you wouldn't have looked at before, you can use that Essence to pick up. But
Okay, so this is actually a pretty specific question, but it's interesting. If a player disconnects, his bot AI picks a legendary and loadout for him. Can this be disabled? I didn't even know that was...
If you load back in time, you can change it, right? Because you have that kind of initial minute.
But
the issue is that we kind of want that to finish out, and then you want to be able to load in with no loadout and no legendary, and you're past the time to pick one.
Yeah. It's just because you can't. I mean, you can't change your items after you buy it. Yeah. You can't get out of the. Can't change your loadout. That's just something with Paladins. So unfortunately, if that's the case, I think it's more call the internet service maybe and just make sure that that's not happening as much as possible. When is the next balance update? That will be with. I'm assuming I can answer this. This will be with the next patch.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be 45.
We'll be 45 coming out next Friday. We'll be talking about it.
Yep. Patch preview next Friday.
A lot of cool things. Will new legendary / cards be added fast enough so we don't have a huge excess of essence? This is kind of interesting. This is a little bit of a different approach since we've seen a lot of people kind of saying, well, I don't have enough essence, but so will they be added fast enough? Well, we can know this, right? The legendaries being in the game, will come with new champions, and we have 15 new champions additionally planned for the year.
Yep.
So that means that
it's just like anything else, right?
Yeah.
If the appetite grows enough, if the community is feeling like that would be a great addition, we'll always be here to respond and kind of serve that for you guys. So right now we're just kind of seeing how the system plays out and how that works, and we'll give it some time, a couple months, that kind of thing, see how it goes. And then if it turns out that as we get further along, legendaries are feeling awesome, you guys are craving maybe a fourth option to play for every character, and you want that kind of diversity, then we can start looking at something like that.
Great. Ying, this is another one for balance, but I guess this is just a question from Bosco. He just wants to know, is Ying kind of one of the people you're looking at, maybe that healing legendary, or are you kind of giving some thought to that, looking at the numbers, maybe make an adjustment?
Yeah, Ying's one of the big ones that we're looking at right now as far as just general throughput. Cool. We are also looking at Androxus Dash. Buck Double Jump was a big one that's been brought up a lot. grok the bounce a little bit, kind of been back and forth. Some people
Yeah.
are just really enjoying the playstyle. Some people are kind of looking at that. Kinessa, a big one as well, as far as how much damage you can deal with some of those legendaries. So those are all on the radar. We'll look to see if we can find some cool solutions for that.
And keep letting us know. Keep letting us know what you find has a big impact. We'll definitely be listening to that as well. This is the one I was going to tell you, but I didn't want to add more to your thing. But someone asked it. Okay, Orange Otaku says, "Can we buy items in the training range?"
Yeah. Well, we can do that. Yep,
Okay.
we can do that. You got me.
Okay, all right.
I got you.
I got you.
I got you.
Gravy.
Encapsulation complete.
That's cream gravy for me, baby. I'm happy. So here's another thing about the train. Everybody loves the train. I didn't know everyone spent so much time in the training range. But
It's not just you.
Now that legendaries will be
just
unlocked in there and we'll have items, I hope. And, at some point, obviously, guys, a lot of priorities, but we know that will be on the radar now. Can we get moving targets in the shooting range? There is a moving target. There's one.
It's Pip. Yeah.
He doesn't move very fast.
So being a CS player myself,
Yes.
right? I used to kind of do all the aim maps where you'd kind of hop in and you'd hit a button on the wall and you'd be able to shoot the clay pigeons come up and do that. That's actually what we were trying to do with the Sky range originally, kind of get that in there. So my dream is to be able to do that. But do you ever watch one of the X-Men's where they go in that room and the walls come up and they go to out in space? The danger room. Thank you, production Blake. The danger room. Go in the danger room. There's all things to fight and stuff like that. My dream is to be able to provide that for players so they can practice, get better, right? Because realistically, in shooters, it is all about getting your peeking right, getting your ability to kind of aim right, your movement right, synergizing your abilities together right, and practicing that outside of the game can have a huge impact in the game, especially for a mechanical shooter like Paladins. So that is something that we want to add, and we're pretty excited to work on. We just don't know where that's going to fit yet.
Okay, great. Can we get a button to delete? And I'm sorry, that was asked by Dimitrije 1997. Great year, by the way. Can we get a button to delete loadout, says Australian.
Yeah, we're excited to work on that.
Okay.
Let's see if we can fit that somewhere. I don't know when we'll have time to work on that, but I think that's a good one to do.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, if you need a way to get out of that, you can always just do a new loadout and rename it. Of course, you can't delete it so have empty slots, but you can always just if you're looking at saying I can't get rid of this loadout, right? You can always just replace the cards in case you didn't know about that.
I can't quit you.
Can we get an undo button in the item store? It says Travdrav. Now, this is more of a flavor thing, right? I mean, should you be able to make a decision and take it back? Should you have to be committing to that decision?
There's two features there.
Okay.
They're splitting it up. The first one is an undo button, which is basically if you had made a purchase in the item store, you still have the item store open, you haven't moved yet, being able to quickly within a range, a grace period, undo that purchase.
Got it.
And the second one, which is actually a sell button, which means that, there's some implications there for item ownership and how that goes. Generally, you wouldn't get the full refund back. You get a very inefficient amount back. But if you realize, hey, I want to change that, and that has implications around countering systems, right? Because you have a whole team buy Cauterize and then have it sell Cauterize and buy Record, right? There's some weirdness to go into that. So I think the undo button is something we can add to the list and kind of see if we can get that in there, just in case you accidentally click on something, especially as we start getting further and further along on console. For those of you folks on Xbox or PS4, you accidentally hit a button as you're going along. So we'll add that to the list and see if we can get that in.
Great. Okay. ETA. Oh. Well, actually, this is a pretty good one. Will there ever be a female tank? Says De Janeiro.
Should we do it?
I don't know. Is it the time?
I think we should do it.
I don't know. Could it be time?
So this has been a big request, right?
Yeah.
And again, Hi-Rez, we're all about kind of making sure that you guys are getting the pieces that you need for Paladins. But I think, I think we should go ahead and just kind of show.
I mean, you know what? They wanted it. Let's see. I mean, maybe you would have had to have been working on it, though.
But we can't show everything, right?
Okay.
Like we have to wait until patch preview next week, right?
Okay.
You can't just get everything now,
Can we
right?
give them a little something?
We can give them something.
Ooh.
So this.
Ooh.
We don't have Thomas here, so he can't web his magical weave of artistic wonderance.
That looks so
But
nice.
that's a thing. Clearly, in the top left, that says it's a weapon. So how this is a shooter.
This is a shooter. How is that going to shoot?
I don't know.
That looks pretty elemental.
It could be.
That looks like it's.
It could be very sedimentary, my dear Watson.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what you guys got to look forward to.
Next week.
Feel free to kind of figure out how we figured out what to do with that. But we're pretty excited. So this is, it's coming along.
We're excited. We're excited about that one. That'll be out soon. Next week, make sure you stay tuned for the patch preview coming up so you can see all about the new champion that will be released. 15 more in 2017. It's 17-17 for us here at Paladins game, so we're excited about it. A couple more questions. Make sure you get yours in before we kind of start to wrap this up. We want to spend as much time as you want, but we also want to make sure we cover the pertinent issues. We don't necessarily belabor this for those who have a lot of other things to do.
Let's do one more.
And maybe just
one more solid
here.
question.
One more solid
Let's
question.
get it out there.
Let's see. There's a couple on the dock.
Let's see.
You liking any of those?
Let's do the last one.
That's actually a good question.
That's a good one.
That is a good question.
That's a good one.
All right.
Suzurico.
Suzurico.
I got ya.
Cream gravy. Is the essence reward for Champion Master in place of Radiant Chest a permanent change? So it's essentially the reward that you're getting now, instead of for the chest getting extra essence, that 2,250 to 3,000 for chest that we're going to give you for Champion Mastery. Is that a permanent change, or is that just something that until the server strain is minimized and everyone's kind of got all their chests? So essentially, will new players get essence or chests from their masteries?
New players will get chests. The essence is just to kind of get through that initial strain, but we'll have those chests there, and so those will kind of still have the opportunity to give cosmetics and other pieces, right? So again, see a lot of people kind of commenting on that fact. So that will still be available for Mastery for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10.
Cool.
And then the essence just to get us through this.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun. Rory,
it's been very fun.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. I'm excited we're able to do this Q&A. Of course, this is lead designer Hi-Rez Drybear. I'm Rain Day, and this is Paladins. We appreciate the community, and again, encourage all of you to continue the conversation. We're always listening. We're always willing to compromise and be a part of this great community that is really, I think, born off of interacting with one another and having the same goal in mind, which is to get to the best game possible. That's what we're striving for. That's what we'll do every day. That's our job. You just keep playing and having fun. Thanks again for the feedback, guys. We'll see you next Friday coming up on the patch preview show for OB45. The weapon was teased. You'll see the champion then. And as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming. And we'll see you all in the realm.